In the coming months, the National Tripartite Committee, led by the Sector Minister, will organize a national labor conference to discuss pertinent issues affecting labor and employers. The recommendations are expected to influence and shape government's policies and programs in this sector. Mr. Speaker, we will launch the Ghana Labor Export Program, which would allow Ghanaians to go abroad and work with countries that we have signed agreements in specialized areas like engineering, technology, welding, carpentry, masonry, and nursing, teaching, and so many and so forth. The government will maintain strict fiduciary responsibility for the operation of the National Pensions Regulatory Authority and the Social Security and National Insurance Trust. This year, the NPRA will fully automate its internal operations and the pension industry will be regulated. This is critical to safeguarding the growing pension fund assets. As part of measures to increase pension coverage in the informal sector, which currently stands at only 11%, the government will implement an informal sector pension inclusion initiative to increase participation in micro-pension schemes. Decentralization has been at the heart of our government system, yet key players in the process, such as assemblymen and women, often face neglect and inadequate compensation. Mr. Speaker, I did promise to pay modest allowance to our assemblymen and women, and I'm committed to keeping this promise. The Honorable Minister, when he presents the budget to this House, would have a provision for allowances for assembly members. Mr. Speaker, I have just unveiled the state of the nation as I came to meet it. I've also disclosed several measures that I intend to take to address the challenges we have inherited. Nonetheless, no matter how well-intentioned our efforts to reset our economy are, they will not yield the desired outcome without the support of the people of Ghana. And so to my dear countrymen and women, you have clearly and unmistakably expressed your displeasure with the poor governance and corruption that has existed in the past. Mr. Speaker, some of our compatriots did so even at the peril of their lives, just as our 28 February crossroads shooting national heroes did in the Gold Coast. May all such martyrs of democracy, those who have died in the process of elections and in the process of just exercising their civil rights, may they rest peacefully in the bosom of the Lord. Mr. Speaker, we will, as I promised, investigate these deaths and we will provide appropriate compensation to the families of those who have died during the elections. My brothers and sisters, you gave me a compelling mandate that leaves no one in doubt about your expectations of me and my government. You embraced the vision to generate new and well-paying jobs through the 24-hour economy initiative. The arrogance of power that you so much abhor will be a thing of the past. I will enforce and demand the highest standards of performance from those who have chosen to work with me to improve the circumstances of our country. I'll publish a code of conduct that they will be strictly made to abide by. Mr. Speaker, it would be remiss of me if I didn't admit that the entire economic value chain is currently in the internal ICU, As I recall mentioning a few intensive care units, as I recall mentioning a few years ago when we were still in opposition, the economy is even worse than we had envisaged. But this gives us ample opportunity to be innovative in our efforts to resuscitate it. And so what are the key takeaways from me for the people of Ghana? 1, that we shall fight corruption effectively. 2, that we shall run a lean government of no more than 60 ministers. 3, that we shall realign the ministries, agencies, and departments to eliminate duplication. 4, that will introduce austerity, reduce wasteful expenditure and spending, and improving tax collection. 5, that we shall widen Ghana's taxness, reform tax waivers, especially on investments, and return to our homegrown solutions. 6, that we will grow what we eat and reduce imports of food and goods that can easily be produced here in Ghana. Your voice and contributions will prove invaluable on this journey of national reset, and I encourage you to make your voices heard. I commit to the judicious use of your resources, eschewing waste and ostentation. We will always endeavor to make the most of the little we have, so that together we can guarantee a brighter future for our children and our children's children. Though the state of our nation now may appear bleak and the task of addressing it may seem daunting, nothing should stop us from achieving our goals once we set our minds to it. In one collective push, we can resolve to make this great nation bequeathed to us by our forebears and see it come to fruition. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's economic challenges are not insurmountable. They present the government and everyone else the opportunity to innovate, to reflect, review, and reset, which is the theme for the commemoration of our scaled-down 68th independence anniversary. Mr. Speaker, it is said that there is strength in unity. Ghana's greatest strength lies in its people, its young and energetic youth. If we stand united, we can be more resilient and build together the power of collective action to overcome economic and social challenges. Every Ghanaian, regardless of political affiliation, background, or status, has a responsibility to play a key role in nation building and work towards a complete reset of our country. Mr. Speaker, let me assure you that we are leaving no one behind as we reset to rebuild the Ghana we want. We will rebuild a Ghana that works for all of us and not just a few. We shall live the dreams of our forebears in our lifetime. And so, my countrymen and women, and where the sun appeared to set on our bright prospects as a nation, let a new dawn of enthusiasm and renewal supplant it, so that when I come and stand here next year to present a message of the state of our nation, it will be one brimming with excitement and happiness. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for this opportunity. I thank honorable members for your kind attention. May God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
Members, honorable members, please resume your seat. Honorable members, Honorable members, order, 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 order. Order, order, order. Honorable members, please, honorable members, let me assure you, I have the full support of parents to discipline the students. I will not accept any apologies again. Honorable members, in accordance with Standing Order 72, Rule 4, I convey to His Excellency the President the gratitude of the House for the address. Honorable members, again, in accordance with the practice of this House, a formal communication will be forwarded to His Excellency the President after the House has thoroughly debated this address. So you will soon have your say. In accordance with the standing orders of the House, I want to know from the Majority Leader any indication regarding adjournment of the House. In other words, Honorable Leader, can you move for an adjournment? Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we wish to thank His Excellency the President for fulfilling his constitutional obligations under Article 67 and duly presenting to us a message on the state of the nation. So, Speaker, things are clearly bleak. So, Speaker, I see on this side of the House my colleagues in black, Mr. Speaker, it is obvious that they left this economy in a miserable state. And the attire that they adorn today says it all. But this side is in white because His Excellency the President, we knew very well, was bringing to us a message of hope. Mr. Speaker, our elders have cautioned that you don't leave your crown in the hands of a hyena as a caretaker when you are traveling. Don't be surprised when you come back and the carcasses of all your livestock are gone. Mr. Speaker, what has happened to our economy and our country and the presentation that has been made says it all. It is sad, it is unfortunate. But His Excellency the President has brought us hope. Hope for the youth of this country. Hope for the women. Hope for the Okada drivers. Hope for the private sector. Hope for students. And hope for ordinary Ghanaians who did everything to bring him to office with such an overwhelming number. Mr. Speaker, we have no doubt that everything outlined here gives hope, and this House will support His Excellency to deliver on his commitment. But more importantly, this House will support His Excellency to deliver on the promise of accountability. Those who so damage our economy must be held accountable. And we will support him to deliver on Mr. Speaker. Be adjourned to tomorrow 10 o'clock in the forenoon. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, let me, on behalf of the Minority Caucus, congratulate His Excellency the President first on his election. This is the first time after the election that he's been to this chamber and to deliver a message on the state of the nation. Our side take this opportunity to congratulate you and wish you well. Second, Mr. President, on the 21st of February 2013, you notably said, quote, Mr. Speaker, the meat is now down to the bones. This was on the occasion of your address to Parliament. And you said that the meat is now down to the bones. This was at the time, Mr. President, that you were president of your own government. Yet, when you came to this house, you lamented on the same state of the economy that you had presided and re-echoed the point that we are left with just the bones. Mr. Speaker, the President again says that he has delivered less ministers. But it is clear that his strategy is, if less, more divide. You have appointed few ministers, but more and more and more presidential staffers and more committees. Mr. Speaker, the President again.
Honorable members, please.
The President again came to this House with a familiar story, the usual lamentations. He packaged it in a language as though we have a new beginning. Mr. Speaker, if the President has any concerns, his duty is to fix it. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency, the President, has announced to us a cabinet of 19 with only 2 women. The daughter of the founder of this NDC, Zaneto Rollins, is missing. Haja Ladi is missing. Helen Intosu is missing. Where are the women in this government? The Vice President.
Honorable members, please, order, order, order.
The Vice President is part of the government, and we are seeing only 2 women in cabinet, and the Vice President is sitting there. In percentage terms, we have only 10% of women in cabinet. Mr. Speaker, the President again, as part of his lamentations, is telling the nation that through some arrangements, they have been able to do 2 things. Pay domestic bonds that matured, and then also they have successfully done some financial engineering to pay some energy sector debt to keep our lights on. My question is, Mr. Speaker, has the President any budget? This is the budget he inherited, the revenues he inherited that he has used for this purpose. The same government is condemning. Mr. Speaker, he has today told us that we have 2.2 million Ghanaians unemployed. But what he has forgotten, that in his administration, in less than 100 days, all we know is sack them, sack them, sack them. Dismiss her. Dismiss her. Dismiss her. Mr. Speaker, on the streets of Accra today, the youth of the country are saying that Mahama Bakun termination bebre. Mr. Speaker, we are happy to hear from the president that he is going to launch the Nkokon Kitinkiti. We are happy to hear this, but we are curious because only yesterday we heard of a confirm. Mr. Speaker, the president talked about the school feeding program, and in his submission on the school feeding program and the status of it, he said that they are now feeding the children well. What he didn't say was that at the time he assumed office, the previous government had paid every single one of the caterers. What he failed to tell Ghanaians was that President John Ajekum Kufuor, who is seated in this chamber, was the one who initiated the school feeding program. He did not acknowledge him. Mr. Speaker, what are we seeing in this government? The same old stock. The same old stock. There's nothing new. There is nothing like transformation. Only yesterday, Mr. Speaker, the youth of the NDC besieged the headquarters of the NDC demanding for jobs. Where are the jobs? Mr. Speaker, today we are seeing the 184 or so filling this chamber, the 183, plus the independent MPs who have caucused with the NDC. Today this house is full, but Mr. Speaker, Mr. President must know that the majority is frustrated. They don't come to the chamber because there are no jobs for them. Mr. Speaker, no, we have patience.
Honorable members, please. Honorable members, Honorable Minority Leader, you have 1 more minute.
Mr. Speaker, when Akufo-Addo was here on his last sonar, Akufo-Addo had patience for Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa to speak. Mr. Speaker, there must be patience for the minority side. I cannot be limited, Mr. Speaker. Let me finish. Mr. Speaker, what we have heard today fails to acknowledge the strides made in the last 8 years. Mr. Speaker, the President failed to acknowledge that he came to meet a peaceful and a stable country. 2, the President failed to tell us that he came to meet a public and civil service that the government, in spite of all challenges, was able to pay consistently. Mr. Speaker, the President failed to tell us that in spite of all the crisis, consistently, the Akufo-Addo government was able to increase wages. And the minimum we did was 11% as compared to his 10%.
Honorable Minority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, to conclude.
Your time is
Mr.
up.
Speaker, to conclude.
Honorable members, my attention has been drawn to the presence of more distinguished members. And I want to draw your attention to them. Honorable members, we have with us in the chamber Honorable Bernard Mona, the PNC presidential candidate for 2024. 2, honorable members, we have the APC presidential candidate Hassan Abdullahi Ayarga. Honorable members, we also have the national chairman of the PNC, Mr. Asaki Samson Awingobit. And we have the PNC vice presidential candidate in the person of Joycelyn Akofa Doche. Honorable members, I now put the question. Honorable members, the motion has been moved and seconded. As many as are in favor of adjournment, say aye. As many as are against, say no. 28 February 2025 at 10 o'clock in the forenoon. The House is adjourned.
Thank you.